Hi everyone! Exactly 1 week from today, on November 18th, hundreds of thousands of high school senior students will take this year's Suneung annual college scholastic ability test, which is for the 2022 college entrance. It is also known as Korean SAT. It is one of the most significant events in Korea because it is the determining factor for which university they go to. Beginning with the first period of Korean tests, students should take mathematics, English, social studies or science research, and second foreign language or Chinese. It starts at 8:40 in the morning and ends at 5:45 p.m. So literally, they should take several tests in a row all day long. And with the result of those grades, they will go on to the college or university. How important is this exam? Businesses delay opening an hour to prevent traffic jam, and planes even pause takeoffs during the English language listening section of the test. Some parents pray at churches and temples for more than 100 days. Some may even wait for their children in the freezing weather below zero, pacing outside the gates, while their children endure the 8-hour test. It has been 14 years since I took Suneung, but still I remember that day vividly. My dad drove me by the exam center early in the morning, and my parents came to pick me up again at the end of exam. I was so happy with the feeling of liberation once the exam is finally over, but I felt like crying when I saw my parents' faces. Here are some interesting things about the SAT. Number 1. The temperature drops drastically during the entrance exam season. The SAT is held on the third Thursday of November every year, so it's quite chilly because it's in the late autumn to early winter. Especially a few days before the exam, a big freeze comes which bothers many students who are weak with coldness. But last year, it was postponed to December 3rd due to the influence of coronavirus. Pep rallies. Before Corona, freshmen and juniors used to prepare sweets and hand out them for their seniors in front of the exam site's entrance to cheer them up. When I was a high schooler, I also got support messages like this from the juniors of my club. Isn't it so cute with all these drawings? I gave presents to seniors on the 100th day and the 7th day before the examination. Oh, in particular, there was a myth that if you roll down a slope in our school the day before, you will hit the SAT jackpot, so there was a rolling event on the eve. However, these days, due to the coronavirus, a lot of spectacles such as cheering matches have disappeared. Number 3, SAT gifts and jinx. There are candy, rice cakes, breads, and so on. So let's take a look at what they mean one by one. Yut, which is Korean taffy. It is a traditional sign of good luck and it has dual meanings. Korean word 붙다 has several meanings, like this, to stick to and to pass. So giving sticky chewy caramel equals to praying for passing an exam so that test takers would stick to the university they want. It's kind of a wordplay because 재수 means fortune to have wealth or good things, and at the same time, studying for the next exam after failing the entrance exam. Next, rice cake. We usually give 찹쌀떡 like this, which is very chewy and sticky because of the same reason with 엿. And the sound of the word 찹쌀 is very similar to the adverb 찰싹, which expresses a sticking sound of splash or spank. Bread. We don't give bread as a gift because bread in Korean is 빵, which also means 0. You know, nobody wants to get 0 points on that big test. And toilet paper, because 풀다 both means to unwind and to solve. Fork and X. 찍다 is a verb which has a lot of different meanings, but in this case, the first and the 6th or 7th meaning can explain why we give these to test takers. To guess and pick the answer, like spearing food with a fork, chopping the wood with an axe. Chocolate. Simply because the sugar in the chocolate helps the brain work fast. Also, chocolate contains caffeine, so it helps sensitive students refresh themselves as well. But I'm not sure it's still allowed to eat in the exam center or in the classrooms during the test. Hand warmer. Just because it's too cold on Suneung Day. Number 4, deadline time for entering the classroom. Even on the big day, there are always students who are late. A lot of students can't sleep well at night before because they toss and turn in bed by the pressure. But I was totally fine and slept well as usual. It is true that it's such a big day because I feel like my 6-year school life is being evaluated based on the condition of the day and test results. Tragically, some students commit suicide under pressure. On the other hand, of course, there are some cases of lucky students who hit jackpot on that day so they can apply for top universities. Students must enter the room no later than 8:10, but around 8 o'clock, you can see quite a lot of police cars and delivery motorcycles stand by or are running with students on board. Number 5, various marketing strategies such as student discount benefits. In order to captivate students who are tired of studying for a long time for the entrance exam, huge amounts of companies are implementing various marketing strategies. For example, discount benefits for amusement parks, free admission to performances or exhibitions, and discount for dining out, beauty salons, etc. Number 6, confidentiality obligation. The CSAT test committee members are selected from among university professors in the relevant major or incumbent teachers. They must make an oath to ensure that the secrets related to the exam are not exposed to the outside, and they gather and live in a camp for about 35 days. And foreign language voice actors, security guards, cafeteria workers, and other staff members must also stay in the facility isolated from the outside world. There is also a hospital inside the facility, so it's not allowed for them to go outside unless their symptoms are extremely severe. Sometimes it appears in K-dramas, but high school life in Korea is really hard and harsh. In my case, I went out to catch the school bus at 6:30 in the morning, so I had to get up at 5:30 or at least by 6 every morning. At school, I had lunch and dinner together with my friends real quick, and I also did night self-study. Actually, it's like half forced from 6 to 10. To be honest, I didn't get good grades at school. I was interested in so-called minor subjects such as art, Chinese, a third foreign language, conversation classes, and so on. So I got good scores in those subjects that were excluded from evaluation and not actually related to the CSAT. I got good grades in English, Korean, and mathematics, but other than those, the results weren't satisfying, so I couldn't get into the university I wished. My mom advised me to take the test one more time, but I knew myself well. I wasn't confident enough that I could do better on the next exam, so I just attended the university I entered and satisfied with it. Most of all, the friends I met there were all very nice. We got along so well, and still they're my best friends. Love you. Anyways, all the Korean students who are going to take Suneung this year, I know you've worked so hard. You might feel like if you couldn't get satisfying scores for Suneung, the rest of your lives would be failure because most of people believe this is the first step to the successful lives. It is even considered as the final goal of 12 years of education. So if you don't go to the college you're aiming for or end up ruining the CSAT, you can feel like you are a loser or your life is over. But looking back on it now, as in my mid-30s, there were many more times when the prestige of a university isn't that crucial. It is not a matter of life and death, so don't feel too burdened. I hope you acquit yourselves well and as brilliantly and calmly as possible. I hope you all get good grades on it. 수험생분들 모두 힘내세요. 화이팅!